Hello and welcome back. Now, the prices of some petroleum products are expected to go down this weekend, and this is based on data that Joy Business has secured from bulk importers of petroleum products. But will consumers really benefit from this reduction as previous declines were not applied? Of course, we have a petroleum expert joining us via Zoom, Mr. John Atefua, to help us understand the remit of this particular discussion. We're so grateful that you joined us, Mr. Atefua. First of all, are OMCs expected to comply, having to reduce the prices following this particular statistic?
That's the expectation that wherever there's a movement, whether upwards or downwards, the market would allow it to pass through, and so that the consumers will benefit from it. As to how far it comes or to what extent they really stick with the reduction is another matter, because realize also that some may be carrying stocks from different pricing windows, and that may impact on when they would pass through this particular reduction.
So therefore, is it justified not to comply?
I don't know what compliance means here. You see, if you have a deregulated market, then you're expecting the market to determine these things. And if people don't comply, unless it's a place where there's a monopoly, people will go to the alternative and see if any oil marketing company has reduced their price. Then of course, consumers will go there and purchase from there. So if you decide to stick with your price and not go down, then eventually people will vote with their pockets. The worry is if it's industry-wide, which then may suggest a cartel situation.
But don't you think
that is the case?
Don't you think this is a reality on the ground now, as we speak?
That the industry is banding together to fix prices?
Somewhat of a case.
I didn't get you right.
I'm saying that somewhat of a case that many people are raising, that there is this formation of a cartel in the downstream petroleum sector.
Well, then it behoves the regulator to intervene and ensure that what we set out to do by deregulating is not, it's not sabotaged by this kind of behavior, because that would be most unfair, considering where we've come from, where we've had prices fixed 1 year, 2 years, stable, and then you get 100% increase, those things. It's all to minimize these things that we got to this stage. So if industry continues to act that way, then it will be most unfair. And when I was talking to your radio guys the other time, I spoke about the attempts during President Kufuor's time to have the Fair Trade Commission, which would have been the body to ensure that in the free market situation, we don't get catalyzations that would distort the market environment.
Great, but already you have explained to us the reasons why many of these OMCs might not be able to reduce the prices, and it comes on the wake of the deregulation policy. I want to ask you personally, you being a petroleum expert, you have seen it all, you've engaged with the players over time. What's your take on the deregulation policy? Is it really meeting up to the expectations?
I think it is, but you see, for a market to be, for the deregulated market to really work effectively, people need information, and places like Joy and the media can help people to know who is doing it right, and then I'm sure consumers will take the right decisions. But if they are in the dark and it just goes to chances on a filling station, when its empty light is on or warning light is on, then the person will go to whoever has it and purchase from them, oblivious of the fact that somebody next door may be selling it far, far cheaper than what he's buying. So information, and maybe the authority as well, may help consumers to know those who comply and those who are doing it right, so that they can also get some business and help us to deepen the deregulation.
Well, finally, before I let you go, Mr. Tifo, there is this concern within the downstream sector when it comes to adulterated petroleum, of which the MPA has raised stark concerns about. Just recently, we saw the MPA together with the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, launch a particular, software, call it an application, that is going to check this particular matter, which of course emanates into price fixing and the issues about hauling and everything. How do we clean up the system in the downstream petroleum sector?
Oh, vigilance on the part of the regulator, and also by checking the...
I'm afraid we're losing Mr. Tifo there. He's been speaking to us regarding matters in the downstream petroleum sector. Of course, we do know that there should be some expected reduction in the prices of fuel coming this weekend. And it begs the question about whether or not these OMCs could comply under the deregulation policy. But you rightly heard Mr. Tifo stating the fact that it is a policy which, of course, does not have a strong legal backing which could, emanate in criminal activities should these OMCs fail to comply. Unfortunately, we're having issues with the line. I think he's back online. If you could try and get him back, but I'm afraid we don't have him at this particular moment. But we shall continue the conversation as and when. In the meantime...